Okay, my friends, here we have a Sub-Zero Model 315 W/S wine cooler. And I was on a job the other day and it was low on refrigerant. I put some refrigerant in. The woman called me back the next day and said it wasn't working. So whatever the gas I put in there obviously leaked out overnight. So I have a line tap valve on here. I pressurized it last night with nitrogen and I let it sit overnight, and I came in this morning and there was no pressure in there. So I checked the evaporator plate inside. I removed the insulation. Feels a little wet in there. I removed the insulation around this tubing. I used my ultrasound leak detector. I was picking up leaks up here at this blast joint. I want to show you what I mean. See that? Got a leak right there. So, how are we going to fix this? We can change the evaporator plate, but I don't think these are available anymore. So what I'm thinking of is because this is 5/16 tubing, I think we can cut this blast joint out here and either use a Vulcan connection on here, or we can use a flare, because this is aluminum and this is copper and it's impossible to solder that. So what we'll do now is we'll drain out the nitrogen. I'm going to cut this line and see how we can fix that without having to spend a fortune on a new evaporator. So I'm going to release the nitrogen and we'll cut the line. Okay, my friends, here we proceed with this project here. I've got two process ports here with the suction and the discharge. Now, the way to fix this, of course, you know we can't solder aluminum to copper tubing, because if we swage this out, you'll never get the solder to stick inside because the oxidation, aluminum oxidizes really quickly. So this is a lock ring coupling. However, I don't have a 5/16 to 5/16. I think I used them all. By the way, I haven't used this tool in probably 10-15 years. But I do have a 5/16 to 3/8. So we're going to put this on here. I'm going to clean this up really well. I've got to get behind here and get that excuse me, powder coating off. We're going to put this on like this, and then we're going to get a piece of 3/8 tubing and I'm going to solder that into this 5/16, and that should solve this problem. It'll be a lot easier to do this than to change the evaporator. And by the way, this evaporator is no longer available. And we do have a video on how to put a U-line evaporator in this machine and get rid of this and just put the the U-line. I know we have a video on that, so in case you wanted to know. But that's the plan. So stand by and I will get the rest of the equipment that we need. We have the special sealer. There's two different kinds. This one says copper on here, and this one here says aluminum. So we'll put this sealer on the aluminum side, and then the other side we'll use the copper. That's what we're going to do. And by the way, here is the tool which we had right there. Like I said, I haven't used this thing in such a long time, but we're going to use it again, as you will see. All right, okay, let me give you an update here. This is what I did so far. I put this piece of aluminum plate on the back here so it doesn't melt the insulation. I made this extension here. This is 5/16 swaged out. I still have to clean that up. That's going to go on like this, soldered on, and then this tube, this Vulcan tube, will go on here, and that's going to go in there like that, and we should be good to go. Let's just try it. Yeah, I think that's going to work out fine. Alright, so now what we want to do is clean up. This is completely cleaned, and the copper is, I just have to score this a little bit to give the sealer something to grip onto. Alright, keep moving on here. Alright, let's put some flux on here. This is what I use, Ultra Flux, silver brazing flux. So I've already cleaned that up in there. So we want to put this on here like this. Okay, so we're going to solder that on, let it cool down, and then we can fasten our Vulcan. Oh boy. Let that cool down, and we'll do the next step. Okay, so now I'm going to take a marker here, and I'm going to push this fitting all the way up as far as I can go, which is right there, and I mark it. So we know that we want to put our, ouch, that's hot. We want to put our sealer, there's a couple of rings, there's a ring right about that deep. Looks like a couple of rings in there. That's probably where the sealer sits into that ring and dries and creates a permanent seal. That's going to be about a 1/4 inch down. So you want to make sure that we put enough sealer around here so that when we push this in, then we're going to collapse this. And then hopefully that'll be all we need to do. And I'm not sure if this is going to work because these tools and fittings and sealer and everything I bought 10 years ago. This has got a date of 2015 on it. I don't know if this is expired. So we don't know. I don't know if this is going to work. And if I could have, I would have put a flare nut over this, but I couldn't get the flare nut up enough to get the swaging block on here. So that's a problem. So where is my swaging tool? And I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this is 5/16 tubing. Here's our swaging block. So in order to get that up there, even to get enough to flare, where are you going to put the nut? Unless I could force the nut up there, I don't know. I haven't tried that. I would rather use a flare than this because I don't know if this is going to work. So stand by, we'll get done. Okay, so here's how I use this tool. Like I haven't used it in 10 years. But anyway, these fingers here come out. There's different sizes. I have different sizes. This is 5/16, this is 3/8. That's what this is, a 3/8 and 5/16. So this is going to go in here like this, and then you're going to start to compress it with this tool. And as you compress it, this is going to flatten out, and it's going to create a seal on both ends. That's the way the tool is supposed to work. Alright, so I'm going to leave that for now, and this is going to go like this. We're going to go in like this. Hopefully I'll have enough strength to do that, because I don't have the same strength I had 10 years ago. Alright, let's move on here. Alright, so let's open this up. And let's take this out of the tool, sealer on there to make sure it goes all the way around. Alright, so actually we should mark this so we see how far in it's going to go. Okay. I hope this stuff is good. By the way, I should be wearing gloves. This stuff is hazardous. All right, up you go. So, this is what we got to do. This is the 5/16 side. That's going to go on top. It's going to go like this, supposedly. Okay, I finally got this on. I'm sorry I didn't show you how I did it because I wasn't holding the tool properly. So I thought maybe I had the wrong fingers in there, but there's no other way you can put these things in there. And you see how this is higher and this is lower, so the fitting wasn't sitting square. You have to adjust it. Then that's what I did. I was able to adjust it so that was pulled it in square, and I just kept tightening it down. So here's what we got. We'll test this for leaks, and if we're lucky, it won't leak. Otherwise, we're in a world of whatever. I don't know how I'm going to fix that without changing the evaporator coil. All right, so let me put some of my tools away, and then we'll pressurize the system. I've already soldered on 2 process ports here. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, everything is sealed up. We got our nitrogen tank hooked up. We're holding 30 pounds. Let's see what happens. If this thing's going to hold or not. $105, 6. I think we'll stop at 110. Alright, let's get some soap bubbles. Let's see what happens. See if we get lucky today. No leaks there. No leaks. All right. We could just consider this thing fixed. I'm impressed. All right, it's a lot cheaper to do that than it would be to change the evaporator coil. You could still make just as much money on the coil and charge for your labor and your time, because that's where you're going to make most of your money. So as far as I'm concerned, that's good. We saved ourselves a lot of work. And if the coil was available, I would have replaced the coil. So now we're going to remove this aluminum plate. We're going to pull a vacuum on the system and charge it up and test it out. All right, that should help. And then the cover has the insulation right there that goes over that, so that should be pretty good. I think what I'm going to do is get another piece of insulation tape and put it around here, because that'll sweat, and then that's how those joints weaken. Okay, next thing we're going to do here is we're going to do a sweep charge. The sweep charge is going to use the compressor, the existing compressor, to suck all the air, if there's any air in there, out. And by reducing the atmospheric pressure inside the system, it will evaporate any moisture that's in the system. So it's 75 degrees out here now. What do you have to pull it into? Maybe, I don't even know. I have to look at the chart to see how deep we have to go to get rid of the moisture, if there's any moisture in the system. Let me get this going. We're going to plug this in. Okay, she's on. Let's let that run for a while. We'll put that cover back on, and then we can button this up. Let's find out how much refrigerant it takes. 2.75 ounces of 134A. All right, coming right up. Okay, everything's buttoned up. Pull the vacuum on the system. We weighed in 2.75 ounces of 134A into this charging column. And here we go. We'll let that empty out, and then we'll come back and do a final check, and then put the cover back on. Call the customer and tell them it's done. I taped everything up here with insulation tape the best I could. I ran out of Armaflex the size, so I ordered some more. It's coming in. Sealed up the vent up here with more tight. That's it. Get back to you when we're on our final moments here. Okay, my friends, this is all buttoned up, fixed, working, and I notified the customer that it was ready. The temperature's pulling down. It's around 50 right now, and it's pretty normal for a wine cooler, around 45 to 50 degrees. I heard it shut off already, so I think we're going to close this one out. So thanks for watching. I hope you learned something, and if not, reach out to me. Let me know if there's any kind of repairs or videos you'd like to see, so maybe I could focus on that in the future. I'll be back.